I know, I get it, you're experienced and dedicated and you're looking for work in X sector and you're looking to further your experiences in. All of these phrases, unfortunately, from all of the old school and just overused templates on the internet just aren't having any impact. They're not making a good first impression anymore. Hey badasses, welcome back to the Badass Careers YouTube channel, which is all about helping you to create a career and life that you freaking love. Now today's video is highly requested. It's all about how to write the summary section of your resume, previously known as the objective section, but if you follow my channel, if you're a subscriber, you know that that objective section does not exist anymore. An objective section is super selfish. It's all about, I want this job, I want to grow and develop, this is what I'm hoping for in my career, and what we're doing is we're flipping the script and we're making it all about what they need and how we can meet that need. Because guess what? A recruiter on average receives 300 applications per job posting, and they call maybe what, like 10% of them for a phone interview? Maybe less. So if you can't convince them in the 6 seconds that they spend on average skimming your resume for the first time, you're gonna lose out on opportunities. So in this video, I'm gonna teach you how to put yourself in the shoes of a hiring manager who's thinking to themselves, God, I really need a candidate who... and you're gonna be able to respond to that statement. Better yet, I want to make sure that you can answer that statement in a way that's uniquely you and it actually sounds like you and it sounds original and it's not using overused cliches. I wanna make sure though that you stay right to the end of this video because I've got a bonus tip for you, a complete example of a really killer summary, and some advice for you if you're thinking about changing careers or pivoting. But before jumping in to what makes a really effective first impression, powerful summary statement that sums up your career stories and shows them that you are the person for the job. Before we jump into that, I want to give you an example of what a really bad one looks like, and we've all been guilty of being this person, because listen up, I'm sure it sounds pretty familiar. Goal-driven and results-oriented logistics professional with 10 years of experience and excellent communication skills. Seeking a role where I can grow and develop, contributing to the company through application of my varied experience, knowledge, and skills. If you're a subscriber on this channel, you may have seen me use this example before because it's just such a classic, so relatable. Like, we've all had objective sections or summaries, whatever you want to call them, that look and sound like this, and they really shouldn't, because you know what makes this so bad? What level is this person? What industry are they going for? What's the main purpose of their role that they're trying to apply for? And where's the proof that they can do it? You know, like, it's so vague, it's so generic. You really could be going for basically any company in the world at any level. It's just not helpful. In fact, it's just a waste of precious space on your resume. The worst thing about it though is that we've all been guilty of this, and it just kind of looks like the classic summary section that recruiters see over and over again. And when they start to see the same format, the same words being used, it loses its impact. It's not interesting. It's boring, actually. If your personal statement or summary is starting with buzzwords, so hardworking, passionate, professional, anything like that, it's a huge warning sign that things need to change. I know, I get it, you're experienced and dedicated and you're looking for work in X sector and you're looking to further your experiences in. All of these phrases, unfortunately, from all of the old school and just overused templates on the internet just aren't having any impact. They're not making a good first impression anymore. If I'm the recruiter, if I'm the hiring manager, I need to know that you are talking to me directly. I need to know that you really want this. One day, hopefully, I'm gonna get to know you. I'm gonna get to know who you are and your desires and where you wanna grow and where you wanna take your career. But for now, I want you to talk to me and tell me how you can do the job and why you'd make such a good contribution to my team. So therefore, let's get into what you should do when crafting a really killer summary for your resume. So in general, I want you to get to the point really quick. This does not have to be paragraphs long. It should be 1 paragraph maximum, maybe 3 to 4 lines, okay? And I want you to show the impact and the power that you are able to bring to the organization and how you do things in your unique way. way. It's always really good to include one major accomplishment because it makes things really tangible and really specific, and bonus points if it tells a mini story. So we're going to jump into the actual format of the summary now, but before that, make sure that you've clicked the link in my description down below to grab your killer resume cheat sheet, because it doesn't just go over the summary, but it goes over all sorts of tips and tricks and hacks to make a really modern and compelling resume. So I've left it down below in the description box. It's yours, it's completely free, enjoy. So let's try and break down a really good summary format. Let's start with figuring out what you do, who you are, and what's your thing, okay? So what are you specialized in? What are you passionate about? What's your greatest driver? I'm gonna give you two concrete examples here. An international human resources professional with 8 years experience who specializes in delivering transformational learning and development experiences. The second one, as a registered educational psychologist, my entire career to date has been driven by my passion for enabling children to overcome barriers to learning and growth. So I've actually got 4 concrete examples for you. Technical project manager with 9+ years of experience in the information technology industry with a knack for simultaneously managing several software development projects at any one time. Renewables engineer specialized in using the power of data analysis and modeling to identify the most profitable wind farm development sites throughout New Zealand. So when you're trying to craft this kind of sentence, what I really want you to do is ask yourself, what do people say that I'm really good at? What's my thing? What do I often get really positive feedback on? What do I love the most about my job? What gets me out of bed in the morning? What do I naturally tend to enjoy doing? You know, if you're really struggling, you can even ask your friends or colleagues, can you describe me in 3 words? What would you say? And see what comes up. You've got to remember, guys, that the hiring manager wants to know 2 things. 1, can you do the job? And 2, do I want to do the job with you? Are you going to be a great fit on the team? Will you fit in around here? You're a human being, so they want to know what you're excellent at, but they also want to know a little bit about what drives you far beyond, you know, the paycheck, the basics. They want to know what really gets you out of bed in the morning, because if you're going to have to deal with, you know, the difficult executive assistant Carol, who everyone loves to hate, but you have to get along with her, and you know, the market might take a bit of a slump for a while. People need to know, hiring managers need to know that you're up for a bit of a challenge and you're going to be there in the team beside them, and they're going to want to have you there, you know, and they need to know that there's something bigger driving you than just a paycheck. So they need to know what it is that you're specialized in, particularly passionate about, or what you've dedicated your entire career to date, so that they can really say, okay, so above and beyond the job itself, this person has a bigger mission or purpose, and it's this. What we're trying to do is build the kind of resume that invites an organization to hire you, not because of what you can do, but also because of who you are, okay? So you're a human, humans hire humans, and they want them on their team. So that is what is going to make you stand out. So we're going into the next part of the summary now. So we've opened strong with what we do and what we're specialized in. Now we've got to talk about how we do things differently. So this is all about the value you bring, how you approach things differently, and your strengths, okay? And we're going to back it up with a proof point or an accomplishment as well. So again, I'm going to get into some really concrete examples for you so you can understand exactly what I mean. By becoming an expert in the Scrum Agile methodology, I was able to empower the wider team to successfully bring 50 projects to completion over the past 3 years, with over 90% being completed within budget. Another example, one of my career highlights includes leveraging my continuous improvement mindset at company XYZ to revamp our customer complaint process and reduce resolution time from 3 weeks to 1 week. And honestly, you don't need to have huge amounts of experience to make this work. Think about this example from a master's student who was studying towards fashion and luxury, and what she'd done on the side is retail jobs, okay? So working in a clothing shop. A master's degree in luxury and fashion management and over 18 months of hands-on work experience as a retail assistant has shaped me to be relentlessly customer-focused, commercially savvy, and a self-confessed data junkie. So what you want to do here is take some of your biggest accomplishments and think about what that says about you. And you want to choose the accomplishment that highlights the right things that the hiring manager is looking for this particular position. What's really great with accomplishments, proof points, numbers, these kinds of things, is that you're not saying, I'm organized, I'm a problem solver, I'm innovative, because your example says it for you. You don't even need to use the words, they get it. So again, if you're gonna use these words like I'm commercially savvy or I'm this or I'm that, choose the example or the experience or the proof point that backs it up. And I always want you to try and think with these accomplishments, what's the return on investment, right? What's the impact you made? Did you save money? Did you save time? Did you increase customer satisfaction? Were you responsible for a budget of $1 million? Whatever it is, but what value did you add to that organization? Because managers want people who deliver results and they want an ROI, okay? So if they're gonna take the risk of hiring you and they're gonna bring you onto their team and use their budget to pay your salary, they want to know that it's gonna be worth it. Now, the next sentence of a killer summary is really about what you want next. And I told you not to be, self-centered and say, well, what I want and what I want out of my career, but you are going to tell them what you want next because you want to show that you've got ambition and vision, but it's going to be the problem that they need solving. So what you want is actually what they need. So again, some concrete examples for you. Wanting to further deepen my expertise in learning design, I would relish the challenge of taking Spotify's online learning platform to the next level so their mega talented people can shine even brighter. Fascinated by the business side of fashion, I'm seeking a graduate retail management role where I'm exposed to core business areas in a luxury retail context and can master the craft of creating exceptional customer experiences. Okay, so what's your ideal next step? But what do they need? So why are they hiring this role? So they're not hiring a graduate trainee in retail just for fun, right? They're not a charity, they're a business. What do they want you to do? They want you to create amazing customer experiences so that their customers keep coming back for more. So that's what you need to say that you want. You need to match what they want. Now, when you're going back and having a look at your summary, what I want you to do is make sure that it's packed with keywords related to the job so that it gets past any applicant tracking systems that it might be going through, okay? So these are the robots that are scanning your resume before they even get seen by a real person to decide whether or not it's worthy of putting your resume in front of the eyes of a real recruiter. So I want you to go back to the job description and really highlight the language and keywords that they are using and make sure that some of those keywords are really included in your summary section as well. Of course, you can include them in your experience, in your job titles, and in other areas, but I want a few in here as well. And a really cool hack for that is to have a really punchy summary section, and then just down the bottom, you can say something like ask me about, or zones of expertise, or even just have the words separated by vertical bars, the keywords and really zones of technical or industry expertise that you can bring to the table. So for example, for a technical project manager role, down the bottom, they may have words like project management, agile, scrum, stand-up meetings, stakeholder engagement. If you're going for more a fashion writer role, you might say something like fashion blogging, events, photography, etc. It depends on what the role needs, but you are going to really highlight those keywords and just put them in there if they are genuinely linked to things that you have learned about or actually worked in. Of course, they have to be genuine, but make sure that they are there on your resume. Now, I told you for the people who stay to the end, you're going to get a bonus tip, and here it is. Something that's really, really effective is if you have someone else to sell you. Now, what I mean by this is, do you have a piece of feedback from your manager, from a client, from some kind of testimonial or something on your work? Do you have someone who's written some kind of recommendation, feedback about you? So think, have you ever written the outcome of, mid-year and annual performance reviews? Maybe there's some interesting quotes captured in there. Maybe you've done a customer feedback survey. Maybe you worked in training and events and you had the feedback forms come in after the events. Or maybe it's simply just sitting there in your email inbox. Do you have words from someone other than you who sells you? Because if you think about it, the CEO of L'Oreal, Jean-Paul Legon, he doesn't sell L'Oreal. Emma Watson sells L'Oreal. Cheryl Cole sells L'Oreal. Like, famous people sell L'Oreal. Because if you've got Jean-Paul Legon sitting there being like, our products are incredible, they're really amazing, it's really hard to sell your own stuff. What's awesome is when other people are like, I believe in this person, or I believe in this product and I recommend it. That's when people are gonna buy, right? So if you're the product, if you're being marketed, it's good if someone can endorse you. So again, let me give you a really, really practical pragmatic example to show you exactly what I mean on this one. International HR professional with 8 years experience and a healthy obsession for digital learning, specialized in creating engaging, gamified, bite-sized digital learning modules. Here's a taste of what my happy internal clients have to say. I usually hate online learning modules and just click next, next, next to get through them. This e-learning was completely different. The gamification, interactivity, and content made me want to learn and made it easier to remember. User feedback on Project X at L'Oreal. Wanting to further deepen my expertise in learning design, I would relish the challenge of taking Spotify's online learning platform to the next level so that their mega talented people can shine even brighter. Learning designer, e-learning, gamification, learning UX, digital learning. Boom. That, my friends, is an example of a killer summary. Now, for career changers or pivoters who may not have the exact experience and accomplishments that line up to their future desired role completely, here's a tip for you. What I still want you to do is summarize what you're really good at. Of course, you want to make it more in the mindset of where you want to go, so really picking out those transferable skills. But what you can do is almost have a few killer sentences like we've talked about in the video, but then have a section that says what I'm most proud of or career highlights. And then you're actually going to take up a lot more space, let's say a more direct move, and you're going to take a chunk of around 3 to 5 bullet points and you're going to put accomplishments, achievements, impact that you've had on various different roles in the past that highlight those transferable skills. So you can say something like communication skills, proof point, project management skills, proof point, stakeholder relationships, proof point. So it's not necessarily having to say like, well, I was in the context of a completely different job, but you're highlighting these transferable skills and the proof points that go with them, and you're going to have a slightly longer summary. So guys, I hope that's taken some of the mystery away of what's involved in having a really killer summary section for your resume. Again, if you want more tips and tricks and advice on how to craft a really compelling resume, something that makes you stand out, you can grab my freebie in the description box down below. There's nothing stopping you. It's called Killer Resume Cheat Sheet and it's all yours. If you're someone who's into personal development and you know that you want your career to be a vessel to do something really impactful and meaningful and fulfilling in your life, then please make sure that you're subscribed to this channel because I'm dropping you content every week and I want to make sure that you can achieve your biggest career dreams. So until the next video, stay badass. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.